Alright, it's Monday afternoon and it's been a cracking day out here on the Gold Coast, which is excellent. So tomorrow I'm going up to Springbrook. Now I'm sitting here thinking this afternoon, I've been doing some work and editing and all that sort of stuff, and I'm thinking, what are some really good tips that I can give you this week in relation to taking better photographs for yourselves? Best tips I think I ever was given was early on in my career, and I forget where I got it or where I found it. It might have even been the New York Institute of Photography, but it's to do with light and exposure. And listen, at the end of the day, that's what photography is all about. It's just light and exposure and the difference of the way light reacts with certain things. So let's presuppose that you're taking a photograph of a person. And you're a fair way away from that person. Now, most of you have what they call through the lens metering in your camera, and it doesn't matter whether you've got a DSLR or you've got a little handy pocket digital camera. Most of them have through the lens metering. Now, what that means is that in the viewfinder, you will have a little dot, and when you press the shutter button halfway down, that will configure your exposure, and whatever you point that dot on, it will configure the exposure based around that dot. So what happens is it records all of the light in a given scene, so all the light that's coming in through the lens, obviously. So let's imagine you're standing 20 meters away from a person and you can't get close enough because you want the light on their face. Obviously it's a photograph of a person, so you want their face to be clear and look good and have the right amount of light on it. So what do? You can't move closer to them. So what you do, and it's a great thing to do, what you do is you put your hand up, because obviously your hand should be similar in tonal value to the person's skin, presupposing that they're white Caucasian, I suppose. And you would angle your hand so that the sun, and again, we're presupposing that you're using the sun to light that person's face, so that your hand, the light that falls on the person's face matches the light that falls on your hand. So for example, you would turn your hand to whichever direction so that it mimics the same light that's falling on the person's face, is the same light's falling on the person's hand. And then you would do a reading. So you would point the camera, the viewfinder, at your hand, press it halfway down, take your hand away, then you would point at the scene, recompose where you want that person to be in, and take the picture. That's how you get excellent lighting onto your subjects that are far away. So, excellent tip. One of the very first really important tips that I got. So along with the rule of thirds that we talked about last week, this week, exposure. So remember, if you can't get close to the person to do a light reading, do it on your hand. So make sure your hand mimics the same light is falling on your hand as falling on the person's face. So basically you're just aiming your hand at the same direction of the sun and take a reading from your hand, and that will give you the same light, which is pretty cool. I hope that makes sense. Excellent.